I'm going to be working on this PS5, which I paid £215 for on eBay, and apparently this don't turn on. So let's try and fix it. If you're new to the channel, if you're just finding me through this video, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notifications, all of that jazz, and head over to Twitch and become a Twitch Prime subscriber. If you've got Amazon Prime, just link an Amazon Prime account to Twitch and then you can subscribe for free. Gives me loads of money and lets me buy stuff like this. Today's video is sponsored by my own store. Check my store out in the video description to get parts and components for all of the console needs, as well as MacBooks and other things, and some used game consoles as well. Get £10 off orders over £50 using the coupon code YouTube at checkout. Offer valid until the 31st of January 2023, and also get free shipping on orders over £75. Consolefix.shop, link in the video description. Now back to the video. Alright, so yeah, apparently this has got no power. One thing I'm noticing straight away are these black marks. And these are a dead giveaway that someone's been inside, because that, you only get those black marks unless your hands are real freaking dirty, in which case you've got bigger problems than a PS5 not working. But unless you walk around with your hands that dirty, that can only mean one thing, and that is that you've touched liquid metal and then touched the case. So I don't know, I haven't been inside this, so I don't know if it's been opened or not. Let's just move that out of the way. Oh god, that is filthy. Yeet. Get off. And I don't know where my freaking gloves are. Where are my gloves? Who's had my gloves? Travis, give them back. Travis, where are my gloves? You know what? I genuinely don't know. I think I took them downstairs because I think that was in one of the boxes. That's gonna suck. Rip. Alright, let's just see what's going on with it first then. Oh, okay, that's a complete no power. Yeah, my plug's turned on. Okay. Well, hopefully that's going to be something nice and simple. Is it finally that time where we get a free SSD? Let's find that out first. Come on, free SSD. Hit the like button now to get a free SSD. In 3, 2, 1. Ah, you son of a bar stool. Damn it. Rip. Wah, wah, wah. One day I'll get one where they forgot to take the SSD out when they sell it. Because once they send it to me with that SSD in it, I wouldn't send it back. Even if I begged and pleaded, please, it's got all my games on. No, you sold it. You left it in there. It's like if they leave a disc in there. Like, I've had some pretty expensive discs inside consoles, like £40–50 discs. I had a PS5 a couple of months ago with a FIFA 23 game in there. I gave it away. Being in it and didn't clean it says a lot about the dude who worked on it. Yeah, hopefully it's going to be nice and easy to fix. So, what do we do with a broken PS5? Apart from sit there crying when we can't figure it out. Oh, lovely. This has been to another place and they've done loads of things to it. Of course they have. We've got flux all over the board. Let's just have a quick look. I'm gonna test for some test voltages first, and then I'll take the board out and we'll see what the deal is. Do we have a 12-volt rail? Yes, we do. We have a 12-volt rail. Do we have a 5-volt? Yeah. 3.3. Okay, 3.3 is missing. 3.3 is also missing there. It's pointless going any further in testing for voltage rails, because the next voltage rails to come up are going to be the 2.5 volt, the 2 volt, the 1.8 volt, 1.5 volt, 0.8 volt, and yeah, I think that's it. But because the 3.3 is missing, none of those others should be present. Actually, we might get the 2.5, but the rest are not going to be present. We get a 5 there. We get a 2. No, it's going to be the 2.5 that's missing. and that's going to be that chip there where there's flux on the board. But that chip's required in order to generate the 2.5 volt rail. So at the minute it's pointless carrying on because we're not going to get the 2.5 volt rails. We're also not going to get the 5 volt rail down here because that only activates when it turns on. That only activates when it turns on. 1.1 only activates when it turns on. 1.5 volt only activates when it turns on, so it's pointless going any further in terms of testing. What happened to this PlayStation? We don't know yet, mate. It's had prior repair attempts though, but it's no power. Let's have some success tonight. Yeah, I hope so, mate. I hope so. It's not going to be a late stream, I don't think. Oh dear God, what the hell has someone done? Okay, we've got liquid metal seemingly everywhere. I'll sort that housing out later. So here's a question: is that 3.3 volt rail short? Now I've just unplugged it. Is that 3.3 volt rail short to ground? Actually, let's go diode mode, get a more accurate reading. So it's 3.3 volt rail just behind the HDMI encoder, this little transistor here. Yes, it is. Dead short to ground. Okay. That 3.3 volt rail short, that means we should be able to find whatever's causing that. Big Red. Thank you, Big Red. I appreciate that, buddy. Let's take a nose at the liquid metal around the APU then. Let's forget that for a minute. What the hell is the dealio with this here? What's someone done to your poor little board? Why is there a cap missing there? Was that cap short or something? Or someone just took that off and... or found that cap's short and hoping that it's going to clear the short. No, that cap's not short. So why is that cap being took off? That don't make much sense. Right, I'll replace that cap later on, Stuffy. I'm not really overly fussed about it. Definitely someone who doesn't have much of an idea. Oh, hello. Okay, we have a shorted cap there. That's not normal. Right, I'm going to get rid of those caps. Like, those two caps touching, that's not going to make a difference to whether or not this works. Like, those caps are touching on the circuit anyway. So yeah, that's still short there. That's not. Right, what's there on the other side? Okay, just a couple of chips. Let's just have a look at... I could do with cleaning it. I could do with cleaning it just to check and make sure that the chip hasn't been put on wrong. Nexus, thank you. Thank you, Nexus. Welcome. Alright, so the DA9065, that's on in the right orientation. I'm not going to take the chip off because it's not necessarily that what's short. So on the back of where the encoder is, as you'll see there, that's meant to put out 3.3 volts and it's dead short to ground. So I think Well, I'm going to clean up this liquid metal first. I'm going to make sure that we've got no liquid metal around here. Who would take you off the coder? What do you mean, mate? Oh, you mean the encoder? Oh, God. Oh, dear. Travis's mum would take me off. Because Travis's mum has got it going on. I don't know if that's quite spilt under there. It's close, but I don't think it's going to have made its way under. I'm just going to move what's there. And then I'll inspect around the edges. Don't want to lift that plastic off if I don't have to. So I just want to make sure that there's no spilt liquid metal before I go ahead and inject voltage or anything. So I'll just look underneath the sticker. If I see any signs that there's any gone underneath, then I'll have to lift the sticker off. Doesn't appear that way. So I only should have used some sort of a wall on this. Like an actual metal wall, in my opinion. This side's the most common place to get liquid metal. Just because of the angle that the board sits on when it's in a standing up orientation. Okay, no. No spilt metal. So I'll seal that back up. Just press it down with my fingers. And now I'm going to inject voltage. I'll leave the foam off for a bit. But now I'm going to inject voltage because I don't know exactly where the short's going to be. I know we've got a short, but I don't know where. And I'm going to inject on that cap 2 amps of current. Hello, Mr. Southbridge. Yeah, I think that's probably confirmation enough. We do have, well, flux around this dial I see. So someone's messed with that. But I think that short is on the Southbridge. I think it's time to remove that. Alright, let's have a look now and see what the reading is now. No more short. Let's get it, let's go. Well, hopefully that's all that's going to be wrong with this. Hopefully. Do I have any pre-balled Southbridges? Probably not. In fact, I do have one for definite, but I don't know where the hell I put it. That's the only problem. No. I guess I'm reballing one now. Oh well. You know you love doing it. No, not when I've messed all of my workbench up so I don't have a clue where my stencils are. My stencils could be downstairs for all I know. So unfortunately it's going to have to be a hand reball, I think. Unless I can spot it quickly, but I'm not going to hunt for it. I'm not going to go mad to try and find it, let's put it that way, because I might have put them downstairs. Right, I can see my 90042 and that's a closer match than the 25. I know with the 42 I can get most of the balls aligned, so I'll just use the 42. Right, actually I'm going to remove this a little bit safer than I normally would. I'm going to heat the board up from underneath. So I've got my hot air at 480, but I'm heating up from underneath. That way then it's going to heat the solder balls up without putting any direct heat onto the chip itself. It takes a little bit longer, but it is safer. grab some caps for these missing two here. And there's one down here as well. Flow, you bastard. Said flow. Thank you. Let's clean this shit that I've left behind. Phil needs this win. Phil does need this win, mate. Forget the win, Phil needs the money. Huh. Where's my plate gone? I'm going to put that on because, well, I ain't got a reason, just putting it on because I just want to keep you all in suspense. Right, I'll be back in a minute. I'm going to go for a cup of coffee. We'll test it when I get back. Oh, am I keeping you all in suspense? Shall I put it back together? Shall I put it back together before I test it? Maybe with the donations you can buy a stream coffee machine. I've actually got one, I just haven't got room in here for it. Alright, moment of truth, people. Do you think, is it going to work? No! No! Alright then, so what voltage rails am I missing? It has to be something simple. No, I bet it's not. 12, 5, 3.3 is back, 3.3, 5, 5, I will bet my sweet soul that I know what it is. Didn't you say something about the BIOS? Yeah. I'll bet my sweet soul that that BIOS isn't working. Bad power button. No, I've just tried sorting the power button out. I'll bet my sweet soul that this was a power surge and it's taken out that BIOS chip. Or at least put it into a write mode. What's my boot sequence? Yeah, that's got a stuck boot sequence, but that's not a stuck boot sequence because of a BIOS, I don't think. It's going up to 150 milliamps and then going off. It could be the BIOS. Let's see if anything gets warm. Okay, my SSD turns on. Oh, hello. No, that's about normal actually. That Southbridge is turning on. Let's try a BIOS chip. I doubt that's going to fix it, but let's just try a BIOS chip. No, we're still at 155 milliamps. Oh! That's a beep. Well, that scared me a little bit. But it's still not actually booting up though. But when it tries to go through that boot sequence, it's still sticking at 155. So it's still not actually going through the boot sequence. But that is giving me something different to what it was before. Let's just try it on a power supply with the light plugged in and just see if it actually shows a blue light. I guess I've just got to go around and undo all of the repair attempts that they did.
Philip Hulk 100.
Thank you, Philip. I really appreciate that, mate. Right, okay, so we don't get that blue light. Does my 1.1 volt rail enable at boot up? Yes. How about my 1.5? No. My RAM's not turning on. How about my 2.5? No. My 2.5 and my 1.5 are not turning on. So that means that when I use the thermal cam, I'm probably going to get SSD, heat by the SSD, but not by the RAM, right? Yeah. So the RAM's not enabling, which is why it's not continuing with the boot sequence. You can see that the SSD controller gets warm. Yes, there's no heat signature from the RAM at all. So I think I'm going to have to go around and undo whatever the hell they've done. Because someone has done something. Whoever's worked on this has done something. They've soldered something wrong, or they've put a bad chip on. Or they've killed the chip with heat. So I'm going to go around and I'm going to try and figure out what someone's done, where they've done it, and how badly they've fucked up. I think it's something someone's done in terms of components. This generates 2.5 volt, by the way. Did I have my 2.5 volt rail? Did I check that? Yeah, you did, and no, you didn't have it. Right, okay. Gotcha. I'm going to change this chip, this DA9081. If I've not got my 2.5 volt, but I've got my 5 volt input, so you had 2.5 but no 1.5. I can't remember going 2.5. I may as well just change it. It's like a couple of seconds to change it. You know, it's not too bad. Oh wow, all of this circuit's been off. All of that circuit's been taken off. And I should tell you how I know that. Not because of the fact that there's leaded solder around it. It's the fact that it wants to fly everywhere when I do use heat. I don't know, I'm not so sure if this is a repair shop's work. I think this is a have a go hero. We've got a boot sequence. We've got a boot sequence. 300 milliamps. We got a boot sequence. I'm bouncing up and down like. We got a boot sequence of 300 milliamps. We got a boot sequence of 300 milliamps. That's the correct sequence. Do-be-do-do-do-do-do-be-do. Sing badly until Twitch bans us. Twitch wouldn't ban you for karaoke, I don't think. I don't think Twitch would ban you for karaoke. 300 milliamps, that's what we're looking for. 'Cause I haven't seen this PlayStation boot before. Come on. Yes! That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. Yes. Not over till it's on the screen. Well, we can arrange that, my friend. I'm happy now that my PS5 is fixed. Thanks, Phil. Yeah, just by the way, you owe me 350 quid for this job, alright? Just to let you know. 350 quid and I'll send it back to you, mate. Not a problem. Let's get it, let's go. Mine now. I went for coffee and toast. Coffee sounds good right about now, dude. I've just been literally bouncing like this up and down because I've got it to give a boot sequence. So coffee sounds good right about now, mate. What was the issue? Bad Southbridge. And then some idiot decided that they wanted to change this dialogue chip and put a bad one on. Morons! What was you saying? Not fixed until it's on the screen? Boom! Yes, baby! Let's get it, let's go! Oh man, that's awesome. That's brilliant. Fantastic. What software are we on? Oh, it's on 5.5. It's on 5.5. Oh, that's a shame. Right, do I service this and put it back together now and bore everyone, or do I quickly work on something else? That be the question. But that appears to be working. Right, yeah, so I guess it's outro time. I'm going to service this tomorrow. This was live streamed on Twitch. But yeah, I'm really not sure what this technician did to this, because yeah, that could have been fixed a lot easier than it actually was. So replace the Southbridge because the 3.3 volt rail was missing. It was missing because it was short, and that was caused by a short on the Southbridge, which is really weird because if you remove the Southbridge from the PS5, you will still get your 3.3 volt test rail. It's not generated by the Southbridge on this console. If you remove the Southbridge, you will actually get a 3.3 volt rail. You'll get all of the main rails, but it won't try and turn on. So you'll get your boot sequence. And what I mean by that is when I plug it into the bench power supply, I'll start off at 0 amps, 12 volts, 0 amps when I hook it up from my bench power supply. 12 volt, 0 amps, and then it'll steadily climb up to 300 milliamps, and then it will drop back down to 4 milliamps, and then it'll go to 0. That's what it's supposed to do. It goes like 50 milliamps, 100 milliamps, 150 milliamps, up to 300, then drops back down. That's a normal boot sequence as it turns on the... Well, it actually puts the SSD, the RAM, the Southbridge, and the Wi-Fi IC, and the APU all into standby, and that's why it does that boot sequence. It tells it all to turn on, and it does its like self-check thing. That's controlled by the BIOS. The BIOS tells that what to check and when to check it. But yeah, replace the Southbridge and then clean up that dude's mess. Happy days. I can sell it for $325. I've already got a buyer waiting, so this one won't be for sale. The one that is for sale is still here. I've got that on my online store. And if you are watching it back as a video, there'll be a link in the video description to the online store. Check it out. I am slowly getting everything out the workshop, catalogued, and then listed on the store. Slowly. Everything that, all of the spare parts that I'm selling and things like that anyway. So yeah, check that out. And again, if you're new to the channel, if you found it through this video, don't forget to subscribe, because otherwise I'll be sad. So yeah. But yeah, that's it for this one. Thank you all for watching. Really appreciate it. Bye for now.